Did you know that 3.8 million concussions happen every year? However, these only account for the concussions that are actually diagnosed, not the undiagnosed concussions. Have any of you ever had a concussion?
Yes.
How about have any of you had an unreported concussion?
Yes.
A concussion is a mild traumatic brain injury. Happens when there's a force applied directly or indirectly to your skull, causing a rapid acceleration and deceleration of the brain. This can happen in any sport. It can happen in golf, track, cross country. The symptoms would include dizziness, headache, nausea, loss of vision, loss of consciousness, memory loss, uncoordination, sensitivity to light, and sensitivity to noise. Anytime you have these symptoms, you need to report it to either your athletic trainer or your doctor. And I have a video to show you where in football how the concussions normally happen. You can see it right there in that hit, where it's direct right to the head and causes a rapid acceleration and deceleration of the brain. So today, concussions are being advertised in professional and collegiate athletes 4 ways by the NCAA mandated rules. The first rule is by an annual lecture from the athletic trainer. Every sport goes through this, so every time a sport gets close to season, the athletic trainer will sit them down and they will talk about a 30 to 45-minute discussion on the concussions, what happens when a concussion happens, the symptoms you get, and what you should do and how you should report it. And then the second one is removal from play if symptoms arise. So anytime you might have a headache, loss of consciousness, vision, you automatically are removed from practice or play that day. The third one is diagnosed. Once you are diagnosed, there is absolutely no activity for the rest of the day. And usually when you have concussion, depending on the individual, it lasts between a week to a couple months. Just depends how fast you heal. And the fourth one is once you are diagnosed, you have to get medical clearance before you can start the return to play protocol. And that is from a team physician or doctor. And then the youth/parents. So the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, did a campaign, which they did a survey on youth parents. They tried to see how many parents would actually recognize concussion symptoms. And the results showed that vast majority didn't actually know concussion symptoms or even know that a concussion is a mild traumatic brain injury trauma to the kid. And they also didn't understand that there's severity of a second impact syndrome or even how important it is to stop your kid from playing once you have a concussion. And then coaches. So many coaches don't actually know the basics of concussion, and they don't understand how to handle it once concussion happens. So every coach goes to this website, it's NHFL, and they take a 20-minute video. This video includes the concussion symptoms, but doesn't actually tell them how to recognize it really when it happens or how to deal with it after. So understanding what to eat, how many hours of sleep they should get to stay off technology. They don't know any of those facts. So as a coach, you just take that 20-minute video on NHFL, and then after you take that video, you just answer 10 questions. Once you ace that test, it's automatic. You pass and you're done. So that's all the coaches ever go through. So overall, concussions need to be advertised in more in depth in a broader viewing range, including TV commercials, high schools, radio stations, anywhere where any of the population can actually see it, with coaches, youths, even athletes. So how are concussions actually advertised today? Nowhere. You never see them on commercials. You never see them in high schools when you walk through the hallways. Kids don't actually see them unless they're maybe posted on Facebook or Instagram when a concussion actually happens. So what about television commercials? So why does e-cigarettes and smoking actually get a commercial, but concussions don't? And concussions kill a lot of people every year for not being recognized early enough or fast enough, or what to do when a concussion actually happens. So the main time concussions are actually held responsibly and done correctly is when there's an AT on site. And this affects a lot of the youth population because in collegiate and professional athletes, there's always an athletic trainer on site. But for youth, there's not. So this is why it's so important that we need to get the word out and advertise how important concussions are in this world, because when there's not an athletic trainer or the parents or athletes can't recognize they have a concussion, it can be really deadly and they can get second impact syndrome, which causes memory loss. In conclusion, concussions need to be advertised in a broader spectrum for the population. Ever if this means on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I wish that it would even be on radio stations and TV.